Let's go on another hike. Today I decided to go on a hike to Castle Crag and maybe even Dunsmuir Waterfalls. These are all places that I've heard of but I haven't been to yet, and same thing. I haven't really done too much research on it, but from the Google photos, it looks pretty. And it is Saturday, and I want to go on a hike and just explore. So right now it is about 10:30, 10:40. It's kind of had a later start to my day. I'm going to go to the library first because you can get a free pass to get into these national state parks if you have a library card. So I'm gonna need a library card first, and I'm gonna make my way. It's about an hour drive. It's close to Mount Shasta as well. All three of those locations are close to each other, so I might be exploring those as well. So follow along with me on my hike. I didn't bring I didn't bring as many things as I did bring with me the first time I went on a hike. Just have my bag, water, journal, and everything. But things like my camera, I felt like I didn't even use the first time. Even a lunch too. I'm like, yeah, it's not worth me just bringing a lunch. If I'm hungry enough, that I could always just get some like local food in the area. So, have all my stuff. Gonna head over to the library. I feel like I'm getting better at remembering to film in horizontal. And I think I'm better too at just filming like B-roll shots a little bit quicker. So hopefully that helps my editing and makes me be able to make these videos faster. But it's a good update just to show like, okay, like this is what I've been working on, content creation. And I do feel like every time I do it, I get better and better, and it gets easier and easier. So off to the library I go. The motivation for the library is definitely because spending $30 last time in order to get into the national park was pretty crazy. That's a pretty steep price. And then if I could save 30 bucks by getting a library card, then like why not? So, but I don't even know if the library charges or anything. So that's actually if it costs money to get a library card, or how much it does cost to get a library card. I think normally they do charge money, but if I'm going to be going on multiple hikes here, and if I'm going back to Mount Lassen once it opens up, then it's definitely going to pay for itself, I bet. So, all right, so it's going to be about like make 5 minutes to get to the library. All right, so just got my library card, just got my pass as well. Thankfully, the library card didn't cost anything. And so the pass only covers state parks. So Mount Lassen, it was a national park, the one that I went to my first hike, that wouldn't qualify. So I have to pay that $30 regardless. So I'm gonna set the GPS and be on my way to Castle Crag State Park. All right, so it's about a 50-minute drive, so not bad at all. So one of the perks of being up here in Northern California is that you're not too far from nature. So pretty cool. Looking forward to it. I mean, it has been like a minute, not this road. A little distracted while driving. Sorry. It has been a minute since I had my last hike. I don't even know when that was. It gotta be at least 3 or 4 weeks ago. Shit. Yes, green on turn is green. Okay, I'm gonna be careful not to get into an accident while I'm vlogging as well. It has been a minute, so I guess it'd be cool to just make updates and everything, just in general regarding how my journey's been going, how's it like living here. So I think I left off talking about how I did leave my job, which was the right decision for me. It's important for me to do what it is I believe in, and even if I'm getting paid more money, if I'm not if I'm sacrificing my values, that's not something that I am comfortable with. It affected me mentally, it affected me emotionally, and I was just like tired, all the time. And why am I tired when I'm not really doing too much? And now I started my new contract, and I am able to treat and see patients in the way that I believe in and that I would like, and I have a lot more energy. But on top of it, I have more energy in general just because the work itself is only 5 minutes away from home, and I'm able to go home during my lunch hour, as well as start late or get out early, depending on how many patients there are and everything. And the fact that there's less patients too, so it's just a lot easier overall, and I'm also making more money too. So it's countless of benefits, countless of ways that it's a lot better than the other job and position, and I'm glad that I made the decision that was best for me. And so it's only week one of that new position. There are also some concerning flags that of the new position, just mainly from disgruntled employees and coworkers. I don't know exactly how much they would apply to me because I'm only there for 13 weeks, but I can see how someone who's been there for like 3 years is upset or um, not getting their needs met, and then just giving me all the negatives about the job and position. And so that's just where I'm at right now. Trying to think what else. Been doing Toastmasters and been actually filming more and making more content as well, more consistently. So that's something that I've been wanting to do. Alright, what's going on here? Make sure I don't get into an accident. Wisely pulling out, and I got too close to the sky. Alright, no accidents. No accidents. Alright, it should be better now because I'm on the main road. Um, yeah, but I've been doing Toastmasters. I've been being more consistent with content creation. I think Toastmasters is really good because it's something that gets me out of my comfort zone, and it allows me to practice my public speaking, which is a goal that I have. I want to be a better speaker because I think it's just cool, valuable skill to have. I think it's just cool to be able to I don't know. I'm just thinking like the army is going to battle, and I want to give like a Mel Gibson type speech. I want to give like a Braveheart type speech. Like rally the troops, improve everyone's morale. Like that's a good skill to have, I think, and it's also good to be a leader too, I think. And I think leadership is something that is a trait that I want to continue to learn and develop. And Toastmasters also does help with that as well. And it's been good. I mean, I've only been in the club. I've been in club 12 for 5 weeks, but I've been giving speeches for the last 3 weeks. So each week I've had an opportunity. I won't be giving a speech this week because I want to give other people the chance and opportunity, and I've been feeling bad. Low key been feeling bad because I'm like, I don't know if I've been just taking all the spots, or not taking all the spots, but there's 3 spots, and 3 other people want to give a speech. So it's like, okay, since I've been giving it the last 3 weeks, then I can easily relent that. But even though I'm not giving a speech, I am gonna act as the Toastmaster. So the Toastmaster, anyone who's not in the Toastmaster is pretty much the host. So for the day, there's gonna be a host of the day, and they just just run the meeting. And it's something that I have done once before. Okay, I don't know if that's a cop behind me or if that is a bicycle. It's a bicycle guy because that car is messed up. Anyways, I've been at Toastmaster once before, but in the club that I was at, it was only 200 people, or maybe 3 or 4 total. So it wasn't as nerve-wracking. It wasn't as high pressure. And that was like years ago. So I'm talking like 20, like 8 years ago, almost 10 years ago. So it doesn't really even count, I would say. But I'm not worried at all about it. Um, it's just being a host, just running a meeting and stuff. But it's just a cool new thing that I'll be trying out. And I'm sure that I'll get some nerves. I'm sure that I'll be overthinking it a little bit or something at a time. But it's part of the process. It's something I'm getting used to. I want to get more comfortable at being a host, at being a public speaker, and so I'm all game for it. Regarding Toastmasters, I do feel improvements in my speaking. I do feel more confidence and less nerves and anxiety. Especially my last speech, which I'm going to be reviewing. It should be up by now, but I felt I was able to be a lot more open, and I felt a lot less nerves, fear, jitters, and anxiety and such. And part of it is from, I think, just just doing it over the last 3 weeks. I think another part of it too is there's this book I've been reading about public speaking, and it just gives a bit of more tidbits that I've been applying to my public speaking that really just lowers the amount of pressure. Because I think a big part of public speaking for me personally is that I have a big desire to like impress everyone or be a certain standard or be very eloquent or inspiring or whatnot. And you can't really be that until you've done the work and have been a public speaker for a while, right? Like, so I have like all these like I guess it's just being a perfectionist. Just have like these expectations for myself to perform a certain way. This guy's driving fast. Expectations for myself to perform a certain way that, and if I don't like live up to it, then I'm like upset or anxious or like disappointed in myself or whatever. But really, that shouldn't be the case. I'm like a newer public speaker. I'm just getting started, just like getting into it. It's not fair of me to expect myself to become like this, like super eloquent, charismatic, whatever person. So that was one of the barriers, just reducing. This guy's driving crazy. Like a truck weaving in and out, and he has a dog on the bed of a truck. So I don't know why you're driving crazy when your dog's right there, like you're risking his life. That's so stupid. What was I saying? So yeah, just like when I put all this pressure on myself to be a certain way or perform a certain way, and it limits your mind. It limits how creative you could be. It limits how spontaneous you could be. Because a lot of public speaking too is just being spontaneous. It's about being in the moment, rolling with the punches, and you have to be able to adapt and respond to how a crowd responds, how they react, maybe what other speakers have said. That's always like the funnest part of listening to any public speaker, just like what they can like pull out of the moment, as opposed to just seeing someone who just reciting a speech from memory. I think that is someone who is less charismatic. And I think too, with public speaking, it's not even just about what you say and about the speech or the message itself. It's also about the energy, right? Like, I think a trait of a good public speaker is just being able to feel them, and in terms of like their authenticity, like their honesty or their emotions. I think those are all important aspects of public speaking as well, and that I'm like starting to piece together now in the moment, just like talking out loud, that really do make a positive impact. Other than that, I'm actually quite hungry, so I'm gonna get some food sometime, wherever I find. Other than that, I haven't been doing improv. I haven't been doing it the last few weeks because it hasn't been available, because they had like a show. And that's something that I'm looking forward to when it starts back up again. I believe that it starts back up next week, so I should be restarting it again. And I think improv, public speaking, they all trigger the same tendencies in me that I have to be a perfectionist, or I have to like really like stand out, or I want to live up to a certain expectation. But the truth of it is that a lot of times most things are boring, right? Most of the time it's like, how do you expect yourself to give the best one liner, the perfect line, the perfect speech, or whatever in the moment? Like, it's not realistic. Even the best public speakers, I feel, it's not realistic. Like, maybe 10% of the time, 20% if they're really skilled, would be them able to deliver or give that really good punch that I guess meeting my expectation of what I want for myself. And being someone who is newer and not having done something before, it's like, how am I expecting myself to be perfect all the time when I've never done it before and I'm new at it? So that's why I like improv too, in combination with public speaking. It's just another thing that I feel like I get my nerves and anxiety, and my desire to perform really inhibits my thinking and my ability to stay in the moment. And I think that by improving on that, then I'll be more confident, more comfortable, more able to just like, be myself instead of trying to meet some sort of expectation. On top of that, there is also a comedy class that is going to be running. And I am on the fence on that. I think that stand up is also in line with everything else that I discuss and my goals. And I think that me being able to do stand up would be a cooler version of myself. Someone who's like, I like look up to, like, wow, you do stand up, wow, you do improv, you do public speaking. Like, I think that that's a really cool, good skill to have. So I am more inclined to sign up for the class. The reason why I'm a little hesitant is just because I had signed up for a class before. Back when I lived in Chicago, I also took a stand-up comedy class, and I went through with it, and in the end, I did give a performance as well. And I'm a bit more critical of myself, and I like, oh, it didn't go well or whatnot, but I didn't watch it, and realistically speaking, I think I did fine, and no one remembers it. And maybe some people found it funny, maybe some people didn't, but it was like a student showcase, so it's like the lowest stake situation where you're not gonna get a heckler, you're not gonna get any boos or whatever, or any bomb. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are laughing along with it. And so, because I did that before, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be very similar, and I know I just need to get out there and just find an open mic and do it. But I think that having a class helps me to be more accountable with it, because they're gonna have a student showcase as well in the end. I think too, it'd be a good way for me to just challenge myself and continue to write stuff, because it would be a good challenge. It definitely would be a good challenge to do an open mic. I don't really have any material right now, and I mean, I guess that could be an excuse, because I could just either use my previous material, or I could just work really hard to write some right now. But I'm sure a part of the class would be writing material, writing jokes. I'm sure I'm going to learn a thing or two about how to improve upon some of the stuff that I did, and build upon the stuff that I learned previously. Which, to be honest, I don't even recall much of the lessons we learned in the stand-up comedy class. I mean, it was kind of the similar way, just staying accountable, attempting to write jokes, and having a student showcase near the end, or a performance near the end. But regardless, I am very tempted to continue with that, as I said, because I think that the version of myself who does stand up and would be a pretty cool guy. It would be pretty fun to be able to look back and see what I've accomplished by being able to do that, because I would say that I'm a pretty introverted person. I would say I'm a pretty quiet person, and I don't really get the center of attention. I don't, nor would I like to be the center of attention. But I think that it's cool to. What am I trying to say? I think it's cool just to be able to. I don't want to be like I can't be the center of attention because I don't want to be the center of attention because I am afraid to be or out of fear. But I would rather be able to have a choice. Like, oh, like I'm a comfortable guy. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable with trying to perform or whatever. And even if I fall flat, I'm fine with that failure and stuff. And those are all like great lessons in terms of like self-development, I think, for anyone to learn. Just that ability to put yourself out there, embrace failure, like being honest and authentic with yourself. It's just a countless of benefits. I've been talking for a while now. I have 30 minutes left. I've been talking for like the last 40 minutes practically. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a break, and then I'll see you at closer to the campsite.
The day job. I asked a simple question. I was like, okay, let's call it Jane. Okay, Jane, how many hours a week would you say you can start?
All right, almost there. 3 more minutes.
You can start while you're at your day job.
That's kind of pretty.
Lunch breaks. Goal of being a professional football player.
All right,
It
pretty
makes
much
sense that you're
here.
either willing to put in the
Pulling up.
effort required to be a professional football player, or not. But if you're not willing to put in the effort,
So
you're
pretty
not
on the
willing to pay
camera.
the price that it takes to become a professional football player. Why set yourself the goal of becoming a professional football player? The more we have this gap, the gap between where we want, the gap between the thing that we want and the actions we're taking.
All right, there's the entrance, State Park. All right, I'll pull up and see how much it costs. Okay, so I just spoke to the visitor center. So first, I've only saved $8, which is still something, but compared to the $30 in the national park, I thought it would be similar. But pretty much the main site there, like parking lot's full. 2 cars waiting in front, but they've been waiting for like 20 minutes or over 20 minutes or so. So the kind state park person did advise me there's like 2 other hikes around the area. And so I'm driving to one of them right now. Make sure I'm making the right turn. Okay, front end over here. Yeah. So one of it is a river trail, so I should be able to walk alongside the river, and I'll just hang out there for a little bit, just go on that hike, and then hopefully once like the Vista Point trail opens up or there's more parking and less people, then I'll be able to do that one. So just heading over to the river trail right now. And I am quite hungry. I honestly should have I regret not bringing my lunch, but it's okay. It's okay. There's not really much food options here. Well, I didn't really try to find some either, but just like looking, like while I was driving, it wasn't really too much. Well, I think I'll go for a hike, wait for the Vista Trail to open up, and then, what the heck, is this it? I mean, cars are parked here. Wait for the Vista Trail to open up, try that out, and yeah. Why is there, okay. There's just cars parked on the side of the road here. Is this it? I don't know. There's no sign. Oh, that's a sign. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's explore. Right. Let's go. California State River Trail. Alright, check my battery. The battery's good. Do I flip like this? Nope. Okay. So this is the beginning part of the trail. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have gone on a hike today because my right ankle is like feels sore. like maybe I kind of sprained it or whatever like that. I think it's been like that for a little bit. Wow, it's a good amount of down. You can see that. I had to pause recording so I don't kill myself. Oh. But yeah, here we are out in the wilderness. It's pretty. I always forget how much I enjoy hiking. I think videotaping myself hiking takes away a bit of that immersion, I guess. But I think too it's good to just air my thoughts or whatnot. It means feel like I'm talking to someone. It's a little therapeutic in a way. It's a cool bridge. And that is the Sacramento River. Ooh, it's moving. It's a scene from Shrek. Coworkers were talking about white water rafting. That might be something I might look into. I've done it once before, but I think it'd be fun. I liked it. Left or right? Left is no dogs, right is dogs. I'm looking left. Okay. They're freaking tall trees, man. Alright, some random thoughts and tidbits. In the car, I was on my drive here, I was just listening to Ali Abdaal, who's a very popular YouTuber. He was like a doctor who became a YouTuber. He's an entrepreneur now. He's doing a lot of different business ventures, wrote a book and everything. And just like I like listening to him because I feel like he's a pretty authentic, transparent guy when it comes to YouTube and making money. And as well as him being in like the medical field, like how I am. And video I was watching from him was about how to be rich. And one of the concepts of the video is that if you imagine someone who wants to become a professional football player, professional basketball player, think of how much work, energy, and effort that they'd have to put into in order to achieve that goal. Okay? Like someone who tells you that, if you just see them training 1 hour a week, you're like, you're not serious, you're never gonna make it. Right? Like they have to be people who are obsessively thinking about it or practicing it or doing whatever it takes, because that's a very lofty, challenging goal to achieve. And making money is the same way. Making money, becoming rich is also something that is not easy. I mean, it's easy, everyone will do it. And there is some luck involved. Ultimately, the goal is to become the type of person that if you lost all your money today, you can make it back. Right? So he was saying that because of how rare and difficult it is to become rich, that similar to a professional football player or someone who's looking to become a professional football player, the person who's trying to become rich should be dedicating as much time like someone who is trained to become a professional sports athlete. And it makes sense. And it makes me think about how much more time I can spend learning YouTube or doing content creation or potentially even other business ventures and avenues. And right now my flaw, if you could call it a flaw, is I get easily distracted. I get easily like shiny object syndrome, like, okay, like this is a good business opportunity. Oh, check out this thing I learned, drop shipping or e-commerce. And oh, maybe I should start my own PT business or something. So that shiny object syndrome, it just detracts you. It takes your attention away. It makes me lose hope. And like, if this isn't going to succeed, it's a tall incline. If this isn't going to succeed, then what's the point of doing it? What's the point of putting effort into it? And that's been my mindset for so long. And from one of his other videos I watched, that's when your goal is the outcome. Your goal is to become rich, right? And that's what makes, I think, doing YouTube long term more difficult. If your goal is just to become rich and you're doing YouTube, according to him, there are better avenues or methods to becoming rich that are easier or have a greater likelihood. But what helps me motivate me more for YouTube is that I'm learning a lot more from it. I'm getting more than just the potential of making a lot of money. I think for me, it's like, even if I don't make a lot of money, just so far, just from starting a YouTube channel, hitting record, putting myself on the internet, putting myself out there, has been pretty cool, has been pretty good. I think that it has helped me to step out my own comfort zone and to just challenge myself and continue to grow. And that's just what I'm trying to become. I just want to become a more developed version of myself. Someone who's more honest, authentic, less afraid, more courageous. And I think that those are all traits that I would need in order to become rich or make a lot of money as well, right? I think it only makes sense. Plus, I think being on YouTube is being a better speaker, being a better communicator. And that too is an important skill for business, networking, and everything. So that's just kind of where my head's at, where my journey is, and some of the lessons I learned from this video. Shit, this is high as hell. Okay, so you see that cliff? One misstep, one ankle trip, that's all it takes. Yeah, and another lesson in his talk was the idea that people who get rich and then they're able to do the things that they want or like, right? So you get rich and then you start training in martial arts, then you start traveling, then you start learning cooking or whatever skill it is that you want to learn or develop, or you write a book or whatever. I think writing a book excludes that. But pretty much the idea of it is that one idea that he mentioned is the idea of being able to make all your money up first, so you're set up and you're established, and then enjoying the rest of your life, right? And so the idea of it is that if you have kids and a family and then you're trying to get rich, trying to start a business, it's going to take away time from your kids and your family, right? And rather than focusing on that, if you already have kids and family, you're too late. But before you get to that point, you dedicate your time and energy to focus on making money. You get that money, then you can have kids, start a family, and then you can have all the free time. Let's assume you're rich, and then you can choose if you want to work or not, or you can make it in a way that the business runs on itself, or because you're the boss, you can always step away from the business. Now that you have kids, now you can have the luxury of stepping away and still be able to support them financially, as opposed to one, never making money, never trying because you're so busy taking care of your kids, or not being in your kids' lives and just being busy because you're trying to make money. So there's an order of doing things in life, right? If you're trying to have a family but you're not established as a person, then that's a big mistake. So it's like another analogy, speaking in terms of not in a financial sense. There's orders of priorities in life that will increase the likelihood of success or increase the likelihood of reaching your goal, which in my example is becoming rich, making money. So instead of focusing all of my time learning boxing or whatever, if I focus all the time on my YouTube channel or content creation or starting a business, then I can become rich. And then I can start focusing and training on boxing. As opposed to if I just train boxing, 5 years from now, I don't really have as much to show for it. Of course, I'm simplifying things and no one knows the potential outcome and opportunity in life, right? Like learning boxing could also bring me to make more money or allow me to become rich. So there definitely is it's a balancing act. So I'm not 100% sold on the idea, but it does make a lot of sense to me. And I guess it's something that I just want to summarize and share with you as well if you're someone with similar goals. And, I'll link the original YouTube video, so if you'd like to check it out, you can do so. Because I don't want to... And maybe I'm taking things out of context too. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely watch that by yourself. Pretty easy, calm trail. I've just been talking, hiking. I think it's like 1.7 miles, so it's not that bad. But let's get to the end and back and see if the vista is open. Hopefully it's open by the time I get back and I could just run whatever trail is there real quick. And then there's some nearby towns too that may have food and may have more hiking. I know there's a waterfall named Dunsmuir nearby. So that's something that I could also check out today too. Being from New Jersey, I used to think that an hour drive is always like crazy or like that's too long or that's too much to do. But ever since I lived in Arizona, I feel like my driving tolerance has just like gone up exponentially. Like to get through Grand Canyon, it's like 3 or 4 hours or whatever. I don't really... driving to LA, I think was 6 hours, I believe, too. So, yeah, now it's not much of an issue of like driving an hour or more to get to all these places that I need to get to get access to places like this. There are the Redwood National Forest. And only reason why I know redwoods is because of that song. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California. You know that song? And then like there's a line that's like the Redwood Forest to the something something. So that's the first time I heard about the redwoods. Then I also hear about the redwoods, about the big trees that are like, I guess, rare or only in the area or something that are really old. So that's something that I want to see eventually. I think it's also like it is like a 3 to 4 hour drive though. So I wasn't as quite prepared to make that trek today. Being that I started later. But I am going to make that one day, someday. Alright, at this time I think I'm just going to shut up and just enjoy the trail, enjoy my hiking. So, talk to you in a bit. Some mushrooms. I don't know what type they are. Don't want to touch it. But if someone's a forager, that'd be a cool thing to identify. I met a friend. Got a little hot. I have a lot less energy and I'm getting more fatigued than I usually would on a walk, on a hike. I think it's only been like 30 minutes or so. Look at this squirrel. What the heck? It's a pretty gray squirrel. I feel like most squirrels I see are brown. Never seen one this like close in the sun. Yeah, I was saying that I don't think I've ever been this fatigued on a hike before. It's only been like maybe like 30 minutes or so in, like probably barely 30 minutes. Could be the food, could be my ankle, could be poor sleep as well. But I mean, it doesn't seem like there's too many hikes here, to be honest. It's just this one. There's another trail that the parks ranger didn't seem too impressed by, and then there's that Vista Trail. So hopefully once I'm done here, which I should be coming up to the end shortly, or soon eventually. Once I'm done here, and hopefully that Vista Trails opens up. And we'll see. We'll see if I'm feeling if I want to go to Dunsmuir Waterfalls or if I want to go to the other mountain spot, or I could just go home. So I could always change my mind. It's no problem changing your mind. Alright, so I'm at the end of the trail. Pretty cool, pretty nice. I don't know, maybe there's more to it. Maybe I need to jump in the water. Some to that side. Looks like there's like a small opening right over there. And then continue on. But yeah, I think I'll keep myself dry. Alright, found this rock. I'm just gonna sit or lean against it for a little bit. Maybe this rock. Gather my energy. Come back. Oh, is this still there? What is that? Oh no, it's not the. Where's he? He went away. I lost him. No. On a brewery nearby. So I'm gonna go to that. Grab a beer. Check their menu. The prices were good. Grab a burger. My hair is crazy. Holy. And then hopefully the falls are nearby. So I'll see if I walk back. I'll see if the Vista Point is free. If it's not, then I'm just gonna go. Or actually, not just go and come back because it's on the way. Smart. I'm so smart. Thank you. Not gonna lie, just the thought of the burger has reinvigorated me. Like I feel like really energized and excited. Is that crazy what the mind can do? All right. On my mind, arguments against the points I made earlier and talked about in the Ali Abdal video is I think that sometimes you need life experience. You need the person to become rich. You just might not be that person yet. And no matter how much hard effort and work you put into making money, because you're not that person, then you won't be able to. That's just like a thought I had. I guess what I mean by that is, I think when it comes to making money, of course it's very easy to say, sit down and just like do it and just try to figure it out. Sit down and just like learn a skill, sit down and just try to sell the skill. I think though that when it comes to that, I think it sounds simple, but it's not easy. And I think that personally, from my own experience, what holds me back the most from making money is not knowing what to do. I don't think it's discipline either, because I'm a pretty disciplined person when it comes to all other areas of my life. I think it's like mental. I think it's belief. Because if you don't believe in yourself that you can do something, you're not going to do it. And how do you believe that you can do something? By building up a track record of accomplishing things or being able to do things. Let's say you're trying to make a business and you're trying to become make your own, like, I don't know, I'll put my example out. trying to make your own physical therapy practice. If you've had success in treating patients, then that feedback would allow you to give you the confidence that you have what it takes and to pursue starting up your own practice. So if that person just worked harder on making a practice before developing that, then it may not work well. Or it may. I don't know. Now I'm going back and forth. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not even like a technical skill that I'm trying to say that what should be established or may need to be established before just making money. I'm talking more about like a developmental skill, like the character skill, like the belief and mindset skills that need to be developed before starting up their own business. I think what I'm trying to say is, for me, like doing more things, doing the things that challenge me, doing the things that I'm afraid of, and overcoming these fears and challenges and adversity have made me be able to have the confidence to film, make a YouTube video. And I feel like that doing so, and it was until I did those steps that I was able to make progress. Like I said, content creation was something that was on my mind for a long time, and I've always been either too afraid or not feel like I was ready enough to do it. And then it wasn't until, like what I said, that I felt like I was able to or ready to. But then again, I probably could have just started it before. If I just forced myself to. I mean, which I did, but I just wasn't consistent. So, I don't know. It's just a thought and process. But maybe presenting that counterpoint is airing my thought out there, maybe it would help someone else out. Because I guess what I'm trying to avoid is, I think that if I just put my head down, just focused on making money, I feel like I'd be lacking in development in other areas of my life. Or that maybe I wouldn't even be able to make the money. You could try really hard at something but not make it, right? Like you try really hard to be a professional football player, but you may still not make it because you're lacking certain attributes or aspects that maybe should have been developed outside of football. Which I'm trying to think of an example, maybe like mindset or character or something, like if you're just a selfish player. But I'm sure that there's a bunch of arguments against that. So I don't really know, but just wanted to share my thoughts, bring them out to the world, and maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. I don't get 10 views. I get less than 10 views. So my two friends that watch this will be able to understand. Alright. I'm like probably 3, 4, no, maybe halfway there. Or a quarter of the way there. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be honest. All I'm thinking about is that burger I'm about to have. Burger or sandwich. One of the two. That's what's keeping me going. Who I see crossing the road. That's a bridge. Oh, that's a bridge. From the beginning. All done at the trail. It was alright. Wasn't too impressed with it, to be honest. I feel like overall the state park I'm not too impressed by. I mean, it's just good to just get out, just walk around, be in nature, look at the river and stuff. And for me, I think just recording has been a better, what I got most out of it. You know, just being able to record, just having this opportunity, and making a video. Just continue to work on myself. This is literally the Shrek Bridge. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, just gonna get back to my car and get over to the brewery. Because I record myself getting my car. But time to get that burger. I think it's only like 10 minutes away or so. Been waiting for this burger. Alright, that was a pretty fire burger. That was worth it. Definitely have got my energy back. And then it was cool too, just being able to talk to the locals here. Someone suggested me the waterfall here. So it's actually, I think, like 10 minutes away. So I'm just gonna go check that one out first. So now that I'm rested, got some hydration, got some food, got some beer too, I'm pretty good. Don't forget the sunscreen. Alright, so found some waterfalls. Not necessarily the one they suggested, but it was on a trail, so might as well try it.
You want me to take a picture of you?
Alright, so very short walk to not so impressive falls. Glad I spoke to the other person that they told me where the other falls were, so it's gonna drive down the road a little bit longer. It's like 4 minutes away, I think. These were just the first one where I saw a bunch of people, so like, oh, this gotta be it, or it's gotta be the trailhead or something. But doesn't seem to be. Oh, almost slipped and died. Doesn't seem to be so. Seems like we have an adventure. So to get to the specific waterfall that she was telling me, which is like the best waterfall, most well known, I have to trespass. So I'm gonna have to park at this certain location and then walk along the railroad track. I don't know if it's total 2.9 miles or if that's just one way, but that's about how long I need to hike in order to get to the falls. So I found an article online that explained it. When I tried Google Maps, it would just take me to this private property that has a gate that I can't trespass. So I'm gonna go over and find a way to park in this certain location and then try to make my way to hiking it. It was not in the plan at all, but I mean, we'll go with it, right? We're gonna rock through and adventure. All right, I found a place to park. Just walking down the road and eventually get to the railroad. There's a good amount of people here. A lot of people are hiking it, I guess. Sorry if I'm whispering, I'm like self-conscious when I videotape and talk and other people are around. Let's get it. Okay, so bridge and then across it and I'll get onto the railroad tracks. Alright, there's a river on the bridge. There's a railroad track. So I gotta walk on the right side for like a mile or two. And yeah. Alright, railroad, see where it goes. Get the river on my side. Alright, so on the railroad tracks, there's a good amount of people here, a good amount of people hiking it. So it's good, I don't feel like I'm the only one alone. If I get trespassed, everyone gets trespassed. But more than likely, nothing will happen. People bring their dogs and everything as well. So it's gotta be safe enough that they feel like they can bring their dogs on the railroad track. Make an update once I get closer. Coming up to this big thing. There's also falls right there, so I'm not sure if I have passed it or something. Here I am, the big boulder for Arrow. So coming down there, it's gonna be where Moss Spray Falls is. Woo! It's pretty. Oh. Alright, that was cool. These falls were definitely pretty beautiful. I'm glad I did make the adventure, make the trek out here. Just walking back on the railroad right now. Just able to think a bit more about my future plans, what I want to do, where I want to go. So that's why I like hiking. I think hiking I always get a lot out of just being by myself, being out in nature, setting my mind on a goal or doing something and then accomplishing it. It always makes me trusting myself a bit more. There was more revelations I had, but I can't remember right now. But I'm just gonna focus on getting back safely. So catch you on the flip side. Oh wow, okay. And the train's coming. I was on a track and then I heard the So I was on the track and I was almost already at the bridge, like at my exit right now. And I just started hearing the train tracks vibrating. And so I knew it was coming soon, but I didn't know which direction. And then I started hearing it. And then I just ran because I was like, I mean, I could have just hit on the side, but I didn't know how long I have to wait and how big the stuff are and if I had enough room and everything. So I just ran, I just booked it, and then I made it. So that was a training experience. So you guys get to see that. I don't know if you can still hear, but the train's still going. So if I had stopped on the side, I would have been waiting for quite a while until I'm able to leave, even though I was like so close to the exit. So but I made a run for it. Back in the car, I'm gonna be going to Castle Crags. It's like 4 p.m. so it should be completely clear by now, I hope. And then I will film when I get there. All right, at the Visit Trail, there's a really long winding road. I'm like pretty high up, I believe, in terms of elevation. And I'm gonna just get out and see what, I don't even know what it is, to be honest. I don't know if it's a trail, I don't know if it's a scenic look. I think it's a trail, but we'll figure it out. All right, this is a short trail, 0.25 miles, approaching the scenic overlook. I get a sun. I can already tell it's gonna be something, I bet. All right, beautiful mountains. Oh wow. Sorry if the videography is not as poor. So that's Castle Crags. The reason why it's called Castle Crags is just because how it's formed. It makes it look like castles, which when I saw it for the first time, it reminded me a lot of like Game of Thrones. And this right here is Mount Shasta, so it's like a volcano. And this is just called the Gray Rocks. I think that's enough adventure for the day. Been on 2 different hikes. One's the waterfall, technically 3. Waterfall, smaller waterfall, and then the river trail. So got some hikes in. Saw this, the mountains of Castle Crag. Got a burger and a beer. It's already like 5 o'clock-ish. It's an hour drive home, so I think I'm just gonna be taking it easy, go home, rest up and chill, and then edit this video, edit my other videos. So that's gonna be it. Thank you for coming along on the journey. I'm sorry if it was boring as heck. This would be a really cool place to zip line. Back in the car, got an hour drive home. Back home, I'm so tired. I was literally gonna fall asleep on the road. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of my adventure. And tune in next time for the next hike and adventure. Peace.